بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله وكفى صلوات الله والسلام على النبيين المصطفى المجتبى وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلوات الله والسلام عليه تسليما كثيرا أما بعد فإن خير الكلام كلام الله عز وجل وخير الهدى هدى رسولنا الأمين صلوات الله والسلام عليه وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. I don't need to stand here to tell everybody here about the importance of the institution of marriage in Islam and what this religion has to say about the sacred institution of marriage. And from that is the statement of the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, "Man tazawwaja faqad istakmala nisfa dinihi falyattaqillah fi shatr al-akhir." Anyone who has gotten married, he has completed half of his religion. So let him fear Allah on the other half. So you will not be a complete man if you're not married. And you will not be a complete woman until you get married, because Allah created everything in pairs, zawjain. And He mentioned in the Quran that the men are libas for the women and the women are libas for the men. If you're not married, you're not complete in this deen. But right now, in 2019, we have this issue where, from the fitan and the mashakil of the hayat of the dunya, is that it's hard to stay married today. It's very difficult. The non-Muslims have looked into this society to see what is the divorce rate. And they say that the divorce rate in 2019 is that 7 out of 10 people will get divorced. 70% of the people. And that problem is not a problem that is exclusive to the non-Muslim. It is a mushkila in our community. So right now in this masjid, on all of the floors, on all of the levels, if we were to say, raise your hand, and I'm not asking you to do this, those of you who are married and now you're divorced, put your hands up. More than half of this masjid will have men and women who have been married and they have been divorced at some point. If I were to say, everybody put your hand up if you know someone who's been divorced. You, yourself, your daughter, your son, your mother, your father, your brother, your sister, your auntie, everybody in this masjid is going to put their hand up. Because right now we're living in a life right now, fitan and mashakil. Now, as Muslims, unlike these non-Muslims, the Prophet ﷺ brought us a religion that came to reduce the divorce rate. The non-Muslims, they have no guidance. They don't look to the Bible for guidance. That's the last place they look when they want guidance about issues. Some of them suffer from mental issues, like they have al-ham wal-gham, they have anxiety, they have mental issues. They don't look for the Bible for answers. The Muslim as the individual is going to look at that Quran to find the answers to his or her situation. So the Kitab of Allah Azza wa Jal and the authentic Sunnah that the Prophet brought sallallahu alaihi wasallam gave us a number of do's and don'ts that if you practice those things, ya Abdullah Allah, it will reduce the divorce rate in our community. But what we do is, many times, due to lack of knowledge, due to lack of commitment, we don't follow the guidance of the Quran and the Sunnah. We follow our whims. We follow our culture. We follow democracy. We follow what non-Muslims are telling us to do. The advice of our friends from the shayateen of the ins. So today, inshallah, next week, we want to address some of these critical issues, especially for those of you in our community who are right now on the verge of getting a divorce. We have some real serious challenges of this community. Our children getting shot and shooting people, gangs, violence, all kind of issues going on in the city of Liverpool. Real issues. People leaving this religion from our children, choosing other ways of life. And I don't know, we ask Allah Azza wa Jalla to bring us to our state of being awoke or irresponsible. First thing that I want to mention about this issue of talaq is that getting divorced in this religion is not inherently wrong. It's not necessarily bad. Some of us are in relationships that are toxic and they're dysfunctional, and it's actually wajib for you to get divorced. And it's haram for you to stay in that relationship. Because in that relationship, it is putting pressure on your deen, putting pressure on your mental stability. You should get out of that relationship and have a tawakkul on Allah and believe that Allah is going to help you. In Surah Al-Talaq, Surah Al-Talaq of divorce, Allah mentioned in that ayah, وَمَنْ يَتَّقِ اللَّهِ فَيَجْعَلْ لَهُ مَخْرَجًا وَيَرْزَقُهُ مِنْ حَيْثُ لَا يَحْتَسِبُ. Anyone who fears Allah, Allah will make a way out for the man. He will make a way out for the lady. She has 2, 3, 4, 5 children by that man. But that man is no good. He's a criminal, a mujrim, a fasiq. He's going to bring a disease home that's going to kill her. So in that ayat, Allah told us that the divorce is a makhraj for some people. It is not inherently wrong. A man comes to your family, he wants to get married, and he's been divorced, or other lady's been divorced. That doesn't mean that that man is automatically bad. It could have been he got married at an age he wasn't ready to get married. He got married to someone, it wasn't the right person for him to get married to. It wasn't his fault. That's not her fault. So when you hear of someone and you come to know someone has been divorced, it does not mean automatically that they're bad people. You shouldn't give them a chance. You shouldn't give them a look. And if that was the case, that being divorced is a bad thing and divorcing is a bad thing in and of itself, then we will find that the Prophet wouldn't have never gotten divorced, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He got divorced not once, not twice. He divorced different women for different reasons, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And if getting divorced was evil, he's the furthest person away from shar all the time. All the time. Our mother, her name is Sauda bintu Zama. She was the oldest wife of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Asbahat ajuza. She was an old lady. She felt within herself, Rasulullah is going to divorce me because of my age. It may be that the lady reaches a point in her life, the husband is not interested in her anymore, and vice versa. That can happen. That can happen. So she thought he was going to divorce her. So she preempted the situation. Ya Rasulullah, I want to give my night to Aisha. I know that you love her more than everyone else. You don't have to come to me anymore. Stay with Aisha on my night because I don't want to be divorced. And I want to be raised up Yawm al-Qiyamah as your wife. He married the lady sallallahu alaihi wasallam from the Jewish tribe Bani Qurayza. Her name was Rayhana bintu Zayd. From that tribe of Bani Qurayza. She was a beautiful woman with a good nasab where she came from. High nasab. The Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam married that lady, and that lady loved him. But she had a jealousy that was on another level. Aisha used to be jealous. And there were issues that came from our mother Aisha, radwanullahi alayhinna. But this lady Rayhana, her jealousy was on another level because of her love for the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He divorced that lady, Rayhana bintu Zayd. Go and check it out. The Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he divorced women for one reason or another. So the point here, getting divorced doesn't mean the person is bad. The individual is bad. He married the lady sallallahu alaihi wasallam who was told, when he comes into you on the night of a dakhl, the day you're going to consummate the marriage, you should say to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, A'udhu billahi mink. And the lady said that to him, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He told that lady, Ilhaki bi ahlik. You go back to your family because you have sought refuge in Allah in something big. And he wound up divorcing that lady, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So getting divorced doesn't mean you're a bad person. In that book right now, in the seerah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we know about the ahkam of divorce because some of the companions got divorced. Abu Bakr, Umar, Ali, Hassan, Hussein, people got divorced from the awliya of Allah. In the Quran, Allah Ta'ala mentioned about Zayd ibn Thabit, radiyallahu anhu. فَلَمَّا قَضَى زَيْدُ مِنْهَا وَطْرًا زَوَّجْنَاكَهَا. When Zayd finished and he divorced our mother Zainab bint Jahsh, we married you, Rasulullah, to that lady, Zainab. That man, Zayd, was from the awliya of Allah. But he divorced that lady, why? Because there were misunderstandings between them. They came from two different backgrounds. This one is an ex-slave. This lady is the high exalted Nesab of a Qurayshiyah. So that happens. The man who's a revert marries a girl who's from Somalia. The man who's from Jordan marries a lady who's from another tribe, another place. And there's misunderstanding because of the differences in their backgrounds and in their culture. It happens. So it's not necessarily evil. But there are some things that we should do before you consider doing that divorce. And they are a lot. One of them we're going to mention first because of this cultural practice that people are still doing in Europe. 2019 is unbelievable that some people are still holding on to this issue. One of the companions came to the Prophet ﷺ and told him, Ya Rasulullah, married the lady from the Ansar. Rasulullah said, did you look at her? He said, no, I married her without seeing her. I didn't see her yet. I'm going to see her tonight when they hand her over to me. He told him, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, go back and look at her. For verily in the Ansar women is something wrong with their eyes. If you marry her and then you see it later on, it may lead you to a divorce. Because you don't like what you see. He told us, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, إِذَا خَطَبَ أَحَدُكُمْ امْرَأَةً إِنْ اسْتَطَاعَ أَنْ يَنْظُرَ إِلَيْهَا فَلْيَفْعَلْ. If any of you wants to marry a woman and you have the ability to look at her. So Jabir ibn Abdullah, when he heard that hadith, he wanted to marry a lady. Without her knowledge, he used to look at that lady to see what she looked like. Now, this hadith goes to show, you shouldn't marry someone without seeing them. You have to watch that which is going to attract you. The lady came to marry the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. وَهَبَتْ نَفْسَهَا لَهُ. Ya Rasulullah, I'm here to marry you. In front of all of the companions, Prophet Muhammad was sitting down. He looked up and down at the lady, looked up and down at the lady. And then after looking up and down at the lady, he said, La hajata li fi nikah. I don't want to get married. Why did he look up and down? He wanted to see if that lady was having those things that would make him interested. Now what's the point here? You marry someone for whatever reason, the culture, like in the Gulf states. The women in the Gulf states, they wear the jilbab, they wear the hijab, they cover themselves up for the most part. That's how it is. It's culture for many people, but it's the deen for others. So the man has jealousy over his women. He doesn't want anyone to see his daughter. So he says, you want to marry her, you just got to marry without seeing her. No, not in this religion. And then we have here, as I was mentioning, 2019. The boy grew up in the UK. His parents decided when he was 1 year old and his cousin was 1 year old, the mother and father decided they're going to get married. The boy knows nothing about his cousin. Nothing. You want to prevent the divorce from taking place? Then don't force them into a marriage. He doesn't know her. She doesn't know him. There's no insijam, absolutely no harmony between the two of them. But despite what I'm saying, and despite us tasting the evil of this practice, we're still going to do it. Because as the father, I'm afraid and I'm concerned of what my brother's going to say, and what the other relatives are going to say. To hell with what they're going to say. I can't destroy my son's life. I can't make my daughter unhappy. I'm going to please all these relatives and make my daughter sad. No, you have to look at her. Why you have to look? So that you can see if there's a level of harmony between you, harmony between her. Another issue that Islam taught us, in order to stop the divorce, make it lesser, and this is important, and that is, there is a time when you can divorce, and there's a time that you can't divorce. In Islam, you just can't divorce like that because you want to. You get upset and you get mad and just get divorced. Allah Azza wa Jalla told the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Ya ayyuhan nabi, إِذَا طَلَّقْتُمُ النِّسَاءَ فَطَلِّقُوهُنَّ لِعِدَّتِهِنَّ. Oh Nabi, if you and the men of your community, if you want to divorce your wives, then divorce them at the proper time. What's the proper time? The proper time is, you can't divorce your wife when she's on her period. Akramakumullah. The lady is on her period. You can't divorce her. Not only that, pay attention. If the man has a wife who came off of her period, and then he had relationships with her before the next period, you can't divorce her until after the new period comes, and then she becomes clean. And that's because Islam takes into consideration the mental state of the lady when she's on her period. Akramakumullah wa tahharullah yamakum. One of the companions, Abdullah ibn Umar radiallahu anhu, from the ulama of the companions, he made a mistake. For those hardcore, judgmental people on that whack dawah, he made a mistake, as people make mistakes. People on this deen throw people out of the sunnah for mistakes. Let's throw you out of the sunnah for your mistakes. Abdullah ibn Umar, he's from the ulama of the companions, knowledgeable. He divorced his wife while she was on the period. Her father Umar, his father Umar, went and told the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam about it. The Nabi sallallahu alaihi wa ala alihi wasallam told Umar, go back and tell your son, bring the lady back and wait until she has a period. And then when she becomes clean, if he wants to divorce, divorce. If he doesn't, hold on to her. So if the man can't divorce the lady after having relationships, the time is going to go by, his anger is going to calm down. Her anger is going to come down. But what we do is, if she's on her menses, we'll divorce her. Why can't we divorce the lady on her period? Why? Clearly, because of those hormones. Every man who's married to a woman knows our women, how they are with their hormones. So he described them, and he said about them, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, ناقصات عقل ودين. Women have a deficiency in their intellect and in their deen. That's not putting them down. The meaning of that is when the period comes, she's going through things. She's not praying, she's not fasting, and so forth and so on. The Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, as I mentioned, he divorced women. He divorced Hafsa, the daughter of Umar. Hafsa's from the awliya of Allah. Jibril came to him sallallahu alaihi wasallam and ordered him, Ya Muhammad, Raji' Hafsa, فَإِنَّهَا قَوَّامَةٌ صَوَّامَةٌ. Ya Muhammad, you divorce Hafsa, bring her back. Because she's a lady who prays a lot. She's a lady who fasts a lot. She didn't have these things about her that she's a bad person. The Prophet divorced a lady who was a waliya from the awliya of Allah, Abdullah ibn Umar. He divorced, but he divorced at the wrong time. Now if a man knows and he has some deen, I can't divorce my wife at any time, I gotta take my time. I have to wait for 2-3 more weeks. I gotta wait till she gets clean again. Now things are going to calm down and things are going to subside. That's one of the wisdoms of that issue. In addition to that, in keeping our marriages, our children, keeping them with us, keeping them close. I don't know about you. I don't know about you. But it's not good being in a situation where your children are somewhere else. Your children are being raised by another man. It's not a nice feeling for a man who cares about his children. So he has to think 3, 4, 5, 15, 20,000 times before divorcing that lady. And this is from the benefit of praying every day. The benefit of fasting Ramadan. It gives a person discipline over his anger. One of the ways that Islam came to decrease the divorce rate is you can't divorce your wife when you're angry. La talaq fil ighlaq. The divorce doesn't count when the man divorces his wife when he's really angry. Angry to the degree that he's majnoon. He'll punch the wall and he'll break his hand. He'll divorce the woman and someone will come to him and say, hey, you divorced your wife He says, no, I didn't. Wallahi, he was that angry. As for the man who has some anger, but he knows what he's doing. And this is the case with most people. The man gets upset, he's mad at his wife, he'll say, I divorce you. And now he wants to bring her back. So he'll come and he say, I was angry, I was angry. Yeah, you were angry, but you were not majnoon angry. La talaq fil iqlaq. There's no divorce, it doesn't count. When the man is so far out there in his anger that he doesn't know what he's saying, what he's doing. That's the rahmah of Allah Azza wa Jal on us. Not making us responsible for when we go outside of the hudud, when we go outside of the tawazun. Sometimes you get too happy. Sometimes you get too angry. The man said, Allahumma anta abdi wa ana rabbuka. Akhta'a min shiddati farah. Oh Allah, you are my slave, and I'm your Lord. He was so happy, he made a mistake as a result of being overly happy, because he thought he was going to die. Allah didn't hold him accountable for that. Allah doesn't hold you accountable for divorcing her when you're extremely angry. From those issues, Ikhwani, that show us how Islam came to reduce the divorce rate, and there are so many issues, but I have to repeat this thing. This issue about taking into consideration the lady's situation. Taking into consideration. There was a companion who hit his wife, and then he wanted to have relationships with his wife. And the Prophet ﷺ was approached by that lady, and she said, I don't want to do that with him. And then he told the men sallallahu alayhi wa ala alihi wa sallam, لا يضرب أحدكم امرأته كما يضرب العبد ثم يأتي إليه في آخر النهار ليجامعها. None of you should hit his wife the way you hit a slave. None of you should strike his wife the way he strikes a slave. And then he comes at the end of the day to have relationships with her. She's going to be hurt emotionally. And then the man is going to start using the Quran and the Sunnah. Yuhajjijuha biha. Start saying, the Prophet said this, and the Prophet did say that. Any woman who her husband goes to sleep angry with her because she refuses his advances, the Malaik are angry with her. That's true. The Prophet told the women, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, if your wife comes to you, your husband comes to you, and you're on a camel, and he wants to have a relationship, you should listen to him. If your husband comes to you, and you're on the stove, and he wants to, you should listen to him. The man who slapped her, the man who beat her up, he's going to come and use those hadith. No, man. You're using those hadith right now in a way that's not correct. She is mentally affected by the way you're dealing with her. Islam takes into consideration their situation mentally. استوصوا بالنساء خيرا فإن المرأة خلقت من درع عوج. He told the men of this community, be gentle and be kind. Take care of your women, for verily the woman has been created from the rib. Allah created Adam with his own two hands. And then from Adam, he created Hawa from the rib of Adam. This is what we believe. Christians believe that. Jewish people believe that. And some of the Christians and Jewish people, women, they respect that. That there's a distinction and a difference between a man and a woman. But we have some women from our community, women from our ummah, who feel, no, I wasn't created from no rib. I'm just as good as any man. And Islam didn't put the woman down. Islam just made her different. The man is different, the woman is different. We accept that. As for the lady that has a problem with that, we say to her, go over to Sefton Park and play with the ducks in the snow. Because in this religion, our mother Hawa was created from the rib. And the Prophet said about her creation, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, إِذَا ذَهَبْتَ لِتُقِيمَهَا كَسَّرْتَهَا وَإِنَّ كَسْرَهَا طَلَاقَهَا. She's been created from the rib, and the rib is crooked. You're going to have to deal with stuff. You're going to have to deal with her mentality. You're going to have to deal with her emotions. And if you go to try to straighten it out, you're going to break it. He said breaking it, or breaking that rib, breaking her is divorcing her. Don't get me wrong, as I told you. Some people need to get divorced. But there are many people who shouldn't be getting divorced. Just relax, pump your brakes, slow down. Follow the things that Islam said to follow. Divorce at the right time. from those issues is the statement of Allah Ta'ala in the Quran. When he mentioned الطلاق مرتان فإمساك بمعروف أو تسريح بإحسان. You can divorce your women 2 times. So if you want to divorce them, you have to either hold on to them with ma'ruf. Don't stay with her just to oppress her. He's with a lady and he's killing her spirit. All he has to do is sub with shaitan. You're fat, you're old, you can't cook, you're this, you're that, you're ugly, you're stupid, you're not educated, you're a problem. What kind of life is that? Is that half of your deen? That's not half of a deen right there. That's adab. That's adab. Divorce is 2 times. When you divorce, you either keep them with ma'ruf or you let them go with honor. Now, Allah could have, if he wanted to, made divorce just once. Just once. No. You have 3 times to divorce her, twice. He divorced his wife last year, and then they learned their lesson. They learned their lesson. They went 15, 20 more years, and then he divorced her a 2nd time, and they never got divorced again. What if he just said, you're divorced and that's it? She go her way, he go his way. Like the non-Muslims. No. Islam said no. You have 3 opportunities before it's all over. And in that waiting period, the iddah, the man is going to see his wife dressing nicely to go to the Eid, dressing nicely to go to the Aqiqah, to the Walima, dressing nicely. He's going to see his wife. Which brings me to the last issue for today, inshallah. From the way that Al-Islam came to reduce the divorce rate is the command of Allah that many of us go against. He subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded in the Quran and he prohibited, لا تخرجوهن من بيوتهن ولا يخرجن. If you men divorce these women, you shouldn't kick them out of their house. Don't kick them out of the house. Nor should they leave on their own. She has to do the iddah in the house of her husband. وَالْمُطَلَّقَاتْ يَتَرَبَّصْنَ بِأَنفُسِهِنَّ ثَلَاثَةَ قُرُوءٍ. Women who have been divorced, they have to wait for 3 menses. If 3 menses come and go while they're in their husband's house, 3 come and go. Now she has to leave. She can get married again. But if 1 mens came and then he took her back, no problem. 2 came, he took her back, no problem. So while she's in the house waiting for those days, 40, 50 days, she's waiting. He's looking at his wife. He calmed down, his anger calmed down. She calmed down, her anger calmed down. The kid gets sick, the child gets sick. Both of them have shafaqa, rahma, rafa on their child. They come together and they solve a problem and then they come back. But what we do is we go against this ayah. He divorces her and she leaves the house. He divorces her, he leaves the house. He divorces her, her family comes and takes her. And when the family takes her, yuhayyijuna alayhi. The sisters and the aunties are telling you he's no good. Yeah, he's no good. You know these men, no good, no good. What is that? You're going against what Allah commanded to help the family to stay together. So if there is a divorce, it is not permissible for the man to leave his house and the lady is in the house by herself. And it's not permissible for her to leave that house unless both of them agree. The Prophet ﷺ was contemplating divorcing all of his wives at the same time. All of them. He boycotted them for a whole month. He would just come to them and he would give them salams and go about his business. But he talked to each one and they agreed he wouldn't stay in the homes. He says, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, al-hajar fil farash. When you boycott your wife, you boycott her bed. You don't boycott that house. Listen, ikhwani, this is important. Prophet said the best woman, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, is that woman who her husband made her angry. But she comes at nighttime and she puts her hand in his hand and she says, I can't take sleep. I can't go to sleep until you're happy with me. He's the problem, which is usually the case. She comes because she's tayyiba, miskina. Hey, touches him. I can't go to sleep until you're happy with me. How did the Nabi of Al-Islam know, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, over 1440 years ago, that when people start touching one another like that, that psychologically is going to calm people down. Wallahi, you try it. Arguing with your wife. She's arguing with you. Everybody just calm down and just take her by the hand like this, and you'll see she'll calm down. It's when there's a fajwa. You go there, she goes there. You separate yourselves. The more space that exists between the husband and the wife, the more room the shayateen of the ins and the jinn, they have to play. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم ونسأل الله تعالى التوفيق والسداد. الحمد لله حمدا كثيرا وطيبا مباركا فيه. إخوتي في الله, our community begins with each family in this masjid. You have a religious responsibility and a manner, all of us, to be better husbands, and our wives have an amana to be more responsible and better wives. In that kitab and in the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the way of navigating through all of these issues. We just have to learn, we have to commit, and we have to submit to the awamir of Allah, His commands, and His nawahi, avoid and stay away from. Those things that He told us not to do. Some people have been blessed. Some people have been blessed where they have their soul mate. This girl, this woman is my soul mate, like a glove. She fits me and I fit her. Other people don't have that. Whatever the case is, even if it's your soulmate. The Prophet ﷺ was shown Aisha. Jibreel brought Aisha in a tray and said, this is your wife, soulmate. And yet, there used to be problems. There were issues that took place. And we're going to talk about that, inshallah, later. We ask Allah Ta'ala to strengthen our relationships. Make us a people who are calm and humble so that we can come back to the haqq. We ask Allah to protect us from the dhulm of the zalimeen, our women and our men. May Allah Ta'ala give the barakah and the khair and the rahmah to all of us and fill our homes up with that rahmah and that khair. Aqim as-salat, yarhamakumullah.